you have any other questions? Yes.
How do you read news like the tragedy in Thailand or all the other horrible news in the world? How do you meet that with an open heart, kindness, without letting it completely drag you down and really affect how you respond to it and still remain peaceful?
So her question is, how do we deal with this the incident in Thailand when the monks got hit? How do we deal with it without sorrow, without pulling ourselves down? Because seeing it, you have to have wisdom coming along. Seeing the other suffer, and then we put ourselves into it and we suffer the same way, that is not the Buddha teachings. That is not the wise way to live in this world, because we will suffer every single day, every single moment. Why? Seeing our relatives, our family members suffering every single day, that will wear us out quickly. For that reason, we have to understand all beings come to this world have their own karma. Whatever that I have done in the past, neither good or bad, they are the owner of their own karma, and they are the only one who will have to receive it, either good or bad. We cannot run away. We cannot abandon it, but we have to receive it, we have to take it, and we have to suffer with it if it's bad. And so if we understand that it's based on their karma, by knowing that truth, we are not going to put ourselves into it to suffer. It's because whenever you hear something, you see something, we always put in ourselves into that. That is why we suffer. You have to isolate yourself from them. You have to take yourself, separate yourself with all those things, because you have enough to worry about. Right? We have so many things to worry about. We have so much to suffer already. And we want to take the others suffer? That is impossible. And we can't do that. Even if we suffer with them, they still have to suffer themselves. It doesn't mean that when seeing that and when hearing them suffer and we say, okay, I will suffer with you, and then automatically their suffer will become less. It's not going to happen that way. But it will increase. Why? Because they already suffer. Now we suffer with them. And they see in us suffer and they think, because of my suffer, making you suffer, I am so suffer. So we shouldn't do that.
To be with you.
To be with me?
To be in your presence.
Why?
Because for me, it's just being in your presence and emanating peace and mindfulness.
And so, yes, you still have your peaceful day even without us.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, that is what we want people to participate to do. It doesn't mean that we are just coming to this world and try to find some peaceful moment and then that's it. It's not just like that. We have to seek the true peace. The peaceful moment, the peaceful days is what we need to start with. But at the end, in this life, in this society, we have so many things to handle. We have so many obstacles, so many challenges. How can we have a peaceful day? The whole day I'm talking about. Not a moment, not an hour. But of course, we always started with a peaceful moment and then move on with it. Move forward to have more than a moment, to have an hour, 2 hours, and then 5, 7 hours, and then one day, one full day. When you find a temple, when you come to any teachers, we always have an expectation of finding peace. And once we sit inside of the monastery or a church or wherever that is, when we have that kind of expectation, that is also defilement. And then when we cannot achieve what we want, we suffer. Any type of commitment, any type of vow, any wishes, it cannot be achieved if we are not working towards it. You have to work hard. You have to put effort into it to achieve it. But for most of us, we don't do that. We only wanted to make a wish, make a vow, and pray. But we are not doing anything to support it. My message, I keep on telling people to write down the statement, today is going to be my peaceful day. And why am I saying that? And why I encourage people to write that down every single day when we wake up? That is still a wish. That is still a vow. That is what we expect our day to be peaceful. But when writing that down, reading it over and over with our eyes, and then read it out loud with our minds, our mouth, doesn't mean our day will be automatically peaceful. But it requires effort, determination, and patience to gain those peaceful moments and peaceful hour and peaceful day. And in order for us to do that, we have to be mindful. It means that we need to put effort into it. We have to have a strong determination to determine that today is my peaceful day, regardless of what people are throwing at me, regardless of what people saying and doing, even if it's painful, hurtful, I will still keep in my mind pure. And then I have to put a lot of effort into this to make today as a peaceful day. The effort of seeing my thoughts, the effort of seeing my speech, the effort of seeing my action, the effort of keeping my mind pure, the effort of keeping my words, my speech wholesome, the effort of keeping my actions as wholesome. And I will be patient with it whenever I fail. Because on this journey, we will fail one after another. Because we are not perfect. Because of imperfect, everything we do tends to be fail one after another. But because of that failures, give us more strength to stand up and walk again. Because of failures, We see suffer. We understand that this is suffer. And we don't want to suffer. That is why we need to stand up and continue walking forward. And we need to be patient with it. And so if we see the values of happiness, peaceful, then we have to make a strong determination right now. I mean right now, not later. Because that moment will not wait for us. We are unsure that we will be able to live until tonight or tomorrow. Is that right?
Yes.
We are unsure. Karma will take our life easily and quickly, just like that. Have you seen the footage of the Venerable monks walk in Thailand? And if you've seen that footage, the monks walk so peaceful. It's so peaceful. And it reminds me of our work back then. And we are unsure of what's going to happen either. And that truck just took all the monks within a blink of our eyes. So quick and fast. Impermanence and karma. We don't know when is our turn. Our karma will come. Nobody knows. None of us. It could be after this talk. It could be during this talk. We are unsure. If we understand that way, we should take this seriously. Because we don't know when it's our turn. Seeing those footage to reflect ourselves. That we are going to be one of the monks anytime in our life. When seeing that footage, instead of sorrow, sadness, we should reflect ourselves and ask ourselves, when is our turn? And for the time that we born into this world until now, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, what do we have now? Not materials, not the house, not the car, not your purse, not what were you wearing, but what do you have in virtue? What do you have in practicing? What do you have of peace? If we come to this world just because of materialities, to have a fancy car, fancy house, beautiful clothes, and all that, only those, then we are a failure. If we only think about those. Because when we die, we cannot carry those with us. Have anyone seen a family member passed away and be able to take anything with them? Even the clothes that they wear at the last moment before the cremation, they don't even have a choice. But us who gave them that set of clothes, to wear before the cremation. Is that right? Because whenever we bring that body to the funeral, those agents will ask us to provide the clothing for them to wear it for our family members. We are the one who pick out for them. They don't even have a choice to select the one that they like. Is that right? But we work really hard and we go shopping not every day, I hope. Or every week, maybe every month, or whenever there's on sale or something like that. And at the end, we have to relinquish it all. So what is your reason of coming to this life? That is the question. What is your reason?
To evolve,
Yeah?
to serve,
Oh, to serve,
and to evolve.
to evolve. Anyone else?
To be the best me I can be.
To be the best you can be.
Just to learn something, to learn something, experience and get out.
Oh, to learn something, to experience and get out. Well, all these beautiful saying, all those beautiful saying, we've been saying it and a lot of people saying it. But then, ask ourselves, did we be able to achieve it? Did we be able to do it? To get what we want and what we said? Not really. Because we have a habit, a really bad habit of forgetting. Because of forgetting, we have done a lot of things in this life. We went through so much suffering. And after all those sufferings, when we found something that is more happier, then we tend to forget what we had gone through in the past. And that is how we suffer by repeating ourselves in and out, in and out in this suffering world, suffering stage of our life. If we are mindful enough to understand, to know, and to remember that I had half enough. I don't want to go back there anymore. I don't want to put myself into it anymore. I need to practice. I need to liberate. I need to get out of this as soon as possible, and I will do everything to achieve it. And for that reason, we all should make our determination, a very strong determination right now in this present moment, that from now on and from here on, I will not let myself to go back to the old path. I will move on and I will practice diligently from here on, practicing mindfulness. So that I can liberate and soon leave this world. So that I don't have to suffer anymore. If you be able to make that strong determination and strong effort and patience to practice diligently, I am pretty sure within 7 days, continuously practicing, or 7 months or 7 years, you'll be able to get out of this samsara, circle of life. If you practice the right way. And so I wish you all will have that strong determination, strong effort, and patience to liberate this samsara circle of life, to attain the blissfulness of Nibbana, so that you will no longer come back to this world to suffer anymore. And all that always begins with one mindful breath. Just one mindful breath. One breath at a time. You can achieve it. And so always remember, everything in this world, you have a choice. Anything come to your life, you have a choice to face it. You face it with anger, or you face it with kindness. That's your choice. Regardless of how bad it is. Okay, that is your choice. I wish you all always be well, be happy, and be peaceful. And have a mindful mind to make a decision within your life. And soon, will no longer come back to this world. Thank you so much. So you have children that going to get into high school and go into high school, and they kind of not believing in incarnation and karma and things like that. So is there any way that can help them to understand that, so that they can have a better life? Because they also join the chanting with her, but then they not truly believe in it. I just mentioned that in this society, because of technologies, because of this world is moving so quick. And so the kids growing up in this side of the world, they have the ability to associate with so many different people in this world. And whatever they want, we always give it to them. Material wise, I'm talking about. And so, because of living in this materialist world, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the kind of belief in all those things. And because whatever they want, we always fulfill their wish. And their mind is so weak. It's because of that reason. They just wanted to live and do the way that they want. And so if we want to explain to them about reincarnation, about karma and things, we should be wise enough to show them every time when they have done something. Right at that moment, let's just say, if they stay up late to play game and to chat with friends and things like that, and then in the morning they cannot get up, right? Because of tired, sleepy. So what is the cause? What is the effect? The cause is because of staying late. The cause is because of not going to sleep, right? Because of social media and things like that. Then what is the result? The result is you cannot get up, you cannot go to school, you cannot do this and do that. And one more thing is because of technologies, most of the kids now have cell phone, smartphone, tablets. And so their eyes, what's wrong with their eyes? They have to wear eyeglasses. Because looking at the screen a lot, right? And when we use technologies so much, we lose in our memories. Because of depending on the cell phone, tablet, whatever you want, you just type, and type. It will pop up. This is what I received when I made a vow to build the Dhammacharya project. There one said, why do you have to do that? This is so wasteful. Nowadays, Google, all you need to do just go online and type it in. It will show you the whole world. All the Tipitaka, all the teachings of Buddha are online. Why you have to waste all that effort and money to do this? It's because, and after listening to all that, I still do what I do. I still continue supporting my vow to build the Dhammacharya project. Why? Because I'm an engineer. I was an engineer, IT engineer. I understand all these computers. They are impermanent. They are not permanent. And anyone can mess it up. Anyone can remove it. Anyone can revise it, fix it. And anyone can post it online. And what is right, what is wrong, we don't have the knowledge to understand, to know. Is that right? Now just let's say, when you go to Facebook, what do you see up there? When you go to YouTube, what do you see up there? All kind of things. Unwholesome things, wholesome things, all kind of things up there. And people, this person say this person say that. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. Which one is the truth, which one is not. We don't know. And so by learning from online that way, we could go a different path, lead us to suffering. Let's say we have 100 people here and all of us can post whatever we want online. And there are millions of people around the world who go online and read and watch what we posted it. But we don't know the fact. We don't know the truth. It could be AI. It could be somebody just make that up. But there will be people believe in it. There will be people not believe in it. Something that is truth and people not believe in it. Something that is not truth, but people believe in it. That leads us to a different way, suffering, wrong view. Then we all keep on repeating ourselves in and out the circle of life again because of wrong view, wrong understanding. So when we teach our kids, try to show them right at that incident, pros and cons. Try to show them this is the cause, this is the effect. Don't just wait and then use our knowledge about religious knowledge about this world to teach them. They're not going to listen because they have learned and listened to a lot of things online already. They don't believe in all those. Instead, wherever they fail, wherever they encounter the problem, show them right at that moment. This is what you've done. That is what you get. And if they don't believe in reincarnation, reborn, we're talking about reborn. Once we die, if we don't reborn, then why in this world the population keep on increasing? If we are not reborn, then the population should be decreased, right? But it keep on increasing is because many of the world also come from hell, from beta, from asura, and from animals. After passing away, after paying off the karma, they will reborn again based on the karma to reborn as a human being or animal or hell or beta or heaven. It all depends. So we have to be wise to show our kids all those teachings. So my last word, to show our kids the way, the thing that we understand, the things that we are living based on, then we must not trying to control them. Instead, live your peaceful life. Show them every time when they encounter problem in a kind way. Little by little, they will understand and they will follow, they will believe. Don't try to control them. Okay, thank you so much. May you all be well, be happy, and be peaceful. And remember to make a strong determination from here on. Okay, thank you.
I'm working at the medical records as the customer service, and I've been following you, and try to practice the meditation. And before I get out of the house every morning, I decide that I will have a peaceful day today. Then when I confront with the angry meditation, I also decide that I will have a peaceful day today. But the more they, get mad, angry at me, I had to step back and ask my manager to step in. So what else that can I do to practice to control my emotion? Because I've been practiced, I've been followed, I've been decided. But the more they sound and get mad at me, the more that my emotion is going to take over. Thank you.
Okay, the last one. This is the last one, okay? Đây là câu hỏi cuối cùng. So when you ask that question every day, when you're saying that every day when before you leave the house, you always remind yourself that today is going to be your peaceful day. You have done that, follow the walk, listening to the walk, practice the message, which is a good thing. You have done that. So when we are doing that message, reminded us that today is going to be my peaceful day. Whenever you encounter a problem, whenever people shout at you, whenever people say this and say that to you, of course, they just started, you probably kind enough to, okay, thank you, sorry. But then when they keep on pushing you to the corner, then you will turn around, right? And be angry with it. That is because of the habit. We are like that. We train ourselves to be peaceful, reminded ourselves to be peaceful, but it's not that peaceful yet. Why I show all the people to do that statement, today is going to be my peaceful day, is because when you wake up in the morning, our mind, if we don't have anything for our mind to do, then it will automatically pull up all the unwholesome things to think about and then live with it. But if you set your mind if you wire your mind to have that intention, today gotta be my peaceful day, then keep on repeating it, keep on practicing it. When you go out, when you walk out that door, you have to be prepared. Today it's not gonna be a peaceful day. I'm pretty sure. but I will keep myself as peaceful as possible because I want today is my peaceful day. So whenever people saying this and saying that, doing this and doing that, that statement, if you still remember that statement, today is going to be my peaceful day, so I will not mess it up. I already make a vow, I already determined that it got to be my peaceful day. Then whenever that person shout at you, it's because you think that they are shouting at you. That is why you react. But they are not shouting at you. They are shouting at them. Okay? Why I say that? Because they are the first one who heard it. This is always started from their mind. They are the first one who heard it, and they are the first one who suffer with it. Not you. Remember what I said, regardless of what this world throwing at you, if you determine that today's your peaceful day, and if you're kind enough to yourself, then you just smile and walk away. Just like when we walk, I have said this many times, we encounter a lot of problems. People shout at us, people curse at us, people protest us, people step on the gas pedal for the black smoke of their truck to cover all the monks, all kind of things like that. Did we react? We did. We also react, but we react with a smile. May you be well, may you be happy and be peaceful. And we continue our walk. We didn't react with anger. Thank you, Venerable Nuns, and all the devotees and all participants who took your time to be in present in this evening's talk. And thank you for your love, your kind, and your support. Thank you so much.
Do you have any other questions? For a moment, the room was quiet. Then a woman raised a question that did not belong only to her. It was the kind of question that lives silently in many human hearts. Especially after we have seen too much pain, too much violence, too much sudden loss. She asked how we should receive the news of a tragedy in Thailand, and all the wars and suffering in the world. With an open heart and with kindness, without allowing it to completely drag us down. How can we remain compassionate without being crushed? How can we care deeply without losing our own peace? How can we look at suffering and not turn away, but also not drown in it? That question is not only a Buddhist question. It is a human question. It is a question for every mother who watches the news and worries about her children. It is a question for every father who sees violence in the world and wonders what kind of future awaits the next generation. It is a question for every person who has ever opened a phone, seen images of death, illness, accident, war, or disaster, and felt the heart become heavy. In our modern world, suffering is not hidden far away. It arrives instantly. It enters our homes through screens. It appears at breakfast, during lunch breaks, before sleep. A tragedy in one country becomes grief in another country within seconds. We may be thousands of miles away, yet our hearts can still tremble. But there are some events that do more than make us sad. They stop us. They interrupt the usual rhythm of our life. They make us put down what we are doing and ask questions we normally avoid. When the suffering involves people who were walking in peace, people wearing robes, people carrying no weapons, no anger, no hatred, only the quiet dignity of spiritual practice, the shock becomes even deeper. We wonder why such things happen. We wonder what safety means. We wonder whether goodness protects us from pain. We wonder whether the world is fair. We wonder whether our own life, which feels so solid in the morning, could also change by evening. The painful event in Thailand was spoken of in that spirit. It was not brought up to create fear, nor to turn sorrow into spectacle. It was remembered because several venerable monks, walking peacefully, were suddenly struck. Their walk had been calm. Their presence reminded others of mindfulness, of renunciation, of the ancient image of those who move through the world not to conquer it, but to awaken within it. One moment, there was the quiet movement of feet on the road. One moment, There was the simple continuity of breath and step. Then, in a blink, everything changed. A truck came. Lives were taken quickly. The people who saw it were shaken. Those who heard about it from far away felt the sorrow rise in their chests. When we speak of such a moment, we must do so with reverence. We do not need to describe every detail. We do not need to repeat the images again and again until the pain becomes entertainment. A tragedy should not become material for curiosity. It should become a mirror. We remember the monks with bowed heads. We remember their walk. We remember the fragility of the body. We remember the suddenness of death. We remember that no one owns the next breath. And then, if we are wise, we ask not only, why did this happen to them, but also, what is this asking of me? How should I live now? What have I been postponing? What kind of mind am I cultivating before my own uncertain moment arrives? It is natural to feel sadness. A soft heart is not a weakness. If we can see the suffering of others and feel nothing at all, something in us has become dry. Compassion begins with the ability to be touched. When someone is injured, when someone dies, when families grieve, when communities are shaken, the human heart should not remain stone. Tears may come, silence may come, prayer may come, a sincere wish may arise. May they be free from suffering. May those who remain be comforted. May all beings be safe. These responses are beautiful because they show that we are not completely closed. Yet sorrow alone is not wisdom. If we see another person suffer and then throw ourselves into that suffering until we are unable to stand, we have not helped them. We have only added one more suffering person to the world. The Buddha's teaching does not ask us to become cold, but it also does not ask us to collapse. It asks us to bring compassion together with wisdom. Compassion without wisdom can become emotional exhaustion. Wisdom without compassion can become indifference. The path requires both. We care, but we do not drown. We feel, but we also understand. We open the heart, but we do not abandon the mind. When we see others in pain, we often make a subtle mistake. We put ourselves inside their suffering as if by suffering with them we could reduce their burden. We think, if I hurt too, maybe I am loving them. But this does not necessarily ease their pain. In fact, sometimes it increases it. A person who is already suffering may look at us and feel even worse because now they believe their suffering has caused ours. Instead of helping them breathe, we may make the room heavier. Instead of becoming a lamp, we become another shadow. Imagine someone falling into deep water. If we jump in wildly without knowing how to swim, our panic does not save them. It may create two people in danger instead of one. But if we are steady, if we know how to stand, if we know how to reach out, then our presence becomes useful. In the same way, when tragedy happens, the question is not whether we should care. Of course we should care. The question is whether our caring is rooted in clarity. Can we send compassion without losing balance? Can we honor the dead by living more awake? Can we support the grieving without becoming helpless ourselves? Can we let sorrow open the heart without letting it destroy the mind? This is where the teaching of karma was brought forward. For many American readers, the word karma is often misunderstood. It is sometimes used casually, as if it simply means punishment or reward. But in Buddhist understanding, karma is not a weapon used to judge others. It is not a cold sentence that allows us to say, they deserved it. That would be a cruel misunderstanding. Karma means action and the consequences of action. It means that life unfolds through causes and conditions, many of which are visible and many of which are hidden from us. It means that our thoughts, words, and deeds matter. It means that what we cultivate does not disappear. When we say that beings are the owners of their karma, we are not blaming those who suffer. We are remembering that no one can fully live, die, practice, or awaken for another person. We can love one another. We can help one another. We can pray for one another. We can offer food, shelter, medicine, protection, and kindness. We can walk beside one another for a time. But each being still carries a path shaped by causes and conditions beyond anyone else's complete control. Each person inherits the results of what has been planted, whether in this life or in ways too deep for ordinary seeing. This understanding should make us humble, not judgmental. We do not know enough to condemn anyone. We do not see the full web of causes. We do not see the beginning of another person's journey, nor its full unfolding. When tragedy strikes, our task is not to sit in the seat of cosmic judgment. Our task is to bow before the mystery of life and then examine ourselves. What am I planting now? What kind of karma am I creating with this thought? With this sentence? With this reaction? Am I feeding anger? Am I feeding fear? Am I feeding compassion? Am I creating more confusion in the world? Or am I becoming a small cause of peace? This shift is important. Most of us, when we see suffering, immediately look outward. We ask why the world is like this. Why others act as they do. Why terrible things happen. These questions are understandable, but they may not always lead to freedom. The deeper question is inward. If life is uncertain, how should I live? If death can come quickly, what should I do with this day? If the body is fragile, what deserves my attention? If material possessions cannot protect me from impermanence, what can I truly rely on? These questions do not remove grief, but they transform it. They turn grief into practice. The tragedy in Thailand is a sharp reminder of impermanence. In Buddhist language, impermanence is not an abstract idea. It is not a philosophy meant only for monks or scholars. It is the most ordinary fact of existence. Everything changes. Bodies change. Weather changes. Relationships change. Nations change. Health changes. Beliefs change. The people we love change. We ourselves are changing moment by moment. We know this, but we forget. We live as though tomorrow has signed a contract with us. We make plans as though time belongs to us. We postpone forgiveness. We postpone practice. We postpone kindness. We say, later, when life is less busy. Later, when I am older. Later, when I have more money. Later, when I have solved everything else. But impermanence does not wait for our schedule. It does not ask whether we are ready. It does not wait until our house is clean, our debts are paid, our family issues are resolved, our spiritual practice is mature, or our heart has finally learned to let go. It can arrive in the middle of a peaceful walk. It can arrive during a conversation. It can arrive on the road, at work, in a hospital, in sleep, or in a perfectly ordinary afternoon. One breath enters, another breath may not follow. One step lands, another step may never come. This is not meant to terrify us. It is meant to wake us. The image of monks walking peacefully and then being taken in a blink is painful because it reveals what is true for all of us. We are walking too. Each of us is walking through our own life. Perhaps in a city, perhaps in a small town, perhaps in a workplace, perhaps in a family, perhaps alone. We have errands, bills, frustrations, hopes, memories, and plans. We imagine continuity, yet none of us knows when the conditions of this life will break apart. We do not know whether we will live until tonight. We do not know whether we will see next year. We do not know when our own karma, our own conditions, our own final moment will arrive. If this truth is received without wisdom, it can create anxiety, but if it is received with wisdom, it creates urgency of the right kind. Not panic, not despair, not a frantic rush to consume more before everything ends. Rather, a sacred urgency. I must not waste this life. I must not waste this morning in hatred. I must not spend this evening feeding resentment. I must not let pride keep me from apologizing. I must not assume there will be endless chances to become kind. I must begin now, not later, now. This leads us to a question that can be uncomfortable, especially for those who have lived many decades and gathered many things, after all these years. What do we truly have? A person may have lived 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. They may have built a house, bought a car, raised children, collected photographs, saved money, chosen clothes, won arguments, traveled, worked hard, and carried many opinions. But when the final day comes, what can be taken? Not the house, not the car, not the purse, not the closet full of clothes. Not even the last outfit placed on the body before the funeral is chosen by the one who has died. The living choose it. The body that once selected, desired, purchased, and displayed is no longer able to decide. This reflection is not meant to insult ordinary life. We need shelter, we need food, we need clothing, we need transportation, we need money to care for our families and to live responsibly. Buddhism is not asking householders to despise everything material, but it asks us to see clearly. Material things are useful, but they are not ultimate refuge. They support life, but they cannot save us from death. They may provide comfort, but they cannot purify the mind. They may impress others, but they cannot follow us beyond the last breath. If we spend an entire life polishing the outside while neglecting the heart, then what have we really accomplished? The more serious question is not, how much do I own? But, what has my life made of me? Have I become more patient or more bitter? More generous or more fearful? More truthful or more skilled at pretending? More peaceful or more reactive? What have I built in virtue? What have I cultivated in the mind? When people encounter me, do they meet a source of calm or another source of agitation? If today were my last day, would I leave behind more wounds or more blessings? Would those who knew me remember my possessions? Or would they remember how they felt in my presence? The tragedy of others can become our teacher if we allow it to ask these questions. It can help us see that the real inheritance of a human life is not what we store in garages, closets, and bank accounts. It is the quality of consciousness we have trained. It is the goodness we have practiced when nobody praised us. It is the restraint we showed when anger was easy. It is the forgiveness we offered when pride wanted victory. It is the breath we returned to when the mind wanted to run wild. It is the sincere effort to become less harmful and more awake. This is why the simple statement, "Today is going to be my peaceful day," becomes so powerful. At first, it may sound like a gentle affirmation, the kind of phrase someone writes on a sticky note or repeats before leaving for work. But in the teaching, it is much more than positive thinking. It is a vow. It is an intention. It is a way of wiring the mind toward peace before the world has a chance to pull it into old habits. Each morning, when we wake up, the mind often reaches immediately for worry. It remembers unfinished tasks, old arguments, future fears, financial pressure, family tension, political noise, loneliness, regret. If we give the mind nothing wholesome to hold, it may automatically pick up whatever is most familiar, and what is familiar is not always wise. So we begin deliberately. Today is going to be my peaceful day. We write it down. We read it with our eyes. We say it silently. We speak it with the mouth. We let the phrase enter the body with the breath. But we must understand something clearly. The sentence alone will not make the day peaceful. It is not magic. It will not cause difficult people to become gentle. It will not prevent traffic, illness, mistakes, disappointment, rude comments, workplace conflict, or painful news. The world may not become peaceful today. Other people may not behave peacefully today. But we can make a determination, whatever comes. I will protect the peace of my own mind as much as I can. This protection requires effort. It requires determination. It requires patience. Peace is not passive. Peace is work. It is the work of watching thoughts before they become speech. It is the work of watching speech before it becomes harm. It is the work of watching action before it becomes regret. If anger arises, we do not need to pretend it is not there. We see it. We name it. Anger is here. Hurt is here. Fear is here. But we do not have to become it. We do not have to hand it the steering wheel. A thought can appear without becoming a command. An emotion can burn without becoming an action. A wound can be felt without being passed on. The same is true of speech. One harsh sentence can last in another person's memory for years. Many of us still remember words spoken to us long ago. A parent's criticism, a partner's insult, a teacher's humiliation, a friend's betrayal. Words are small in sound but large in consequence. If we truly want today to be a peaceful day, we must guard the mouth. Not with fear, but with care. Before speaking, we can ask, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this kind? Is this the right time? If the answer is no, silence may be a greater gift than expression. Action must also be guarded. A peaceful day is not created by a peaceful mood alone. It is created through choices. We choose not to retaliate. We choose not to escalate. We choose not to punish someone simply because we are wounded. We choose to step back before reacting. We choose to breathe before answering. We choose to walk away when staying would create harm. We choose to begin again after failing. This last point is essential because we will fail. We are not perfect. We may make the vow in the morning and lose patience by noon. We may speak too sharply, judge too quickly, or fall back into resentment. But failure is not the end of practice. Failure is where practice becomes honest. The path is not for people who never fall. It is for people who learn how to stand again. Each time we fail, we can suffer blindly, or we can learn. We can say, this is suffering. I do not want to keep living this way. I do not want to keep repeating this pattern. I will stand up and continue walking. In that sense, even failure can strengthen the path. It reveals where we are still untrained. It shows us the places where old habits are stronger than our morning vow. And once we see those places clearly, we can practice more sincerely. There was also the question of what to do when people shout at us. When they are angry, when they push us into a corner emotionally. This is not theoretical. Many people, especially in customer service, healthcare, schools, offices, and family caregiving, face anger every day. They wake up wanting peace. But then someone yells, someone complains, someone blames them for things beyond their control. At first, they may smile and remain polite. But if the pressure continues, the old reaction appears, the body tightens, the voice changes, the face hardens, the peaceful day begins to break. The teaching offered a remarkable perspective. When someone shouts at you, they are the first one to hear it. The anger begins in their mind. The harsh words pass through their own body before they reach your ears. They are the first person burned by their anger. If you receive it and react with anger, you become the second person burned. If you throw it back, the fire spreads. But if you understand that the other person is already suffering from their own state of mind, you do not have to take it so personally. This does not mean allowing abuse or staying in unsafe situations. It means seeing clearly. Their anger is their suffering before it is your problem. This insight can change everything. When someone speaks harshly, instead of thinking, they are attacking me, we can think, this person is suffering, and their suffering is coming out as anger. That shift creates space. In that space, we may still set boundaries. We may still say, I want to help, but I cannot continue this conversation if you are yelling. We may ask a manager to step in. We may leave, but we do not need to add hatred to the situation. We do not need to destroy our own peace just because someone else has lost theirs. During the long walks for peace, the monks and participants encountered many kinds of reactions. Some people welcomed them, some bowed, some offered food or water, others shouted, cursed, protested, or behaved disrespectfully. Some drivers produced black smoke from their trucks, covering the walkers. The world did not always greet peace with peace. Yet the response was not retaliation. The response was a smile, a blessing, and the continuation of the walk. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. Then one more step, then another. This is not weakness. It is strength of a rare kind. Anyone can react with anger when insulted. That is easy. It is the old training of the world. But to meet hostility without becoming hostile. To meet disrespect without losing dignity. To meet aggression without surrendering the mind to aggression, that is training. That is practice. That is freedom beginning to take root. A peaceful person is not someone who never meets difficulty. A peaceful person is someone who refuses to let difficulty decide the quality of the heart. And so, when we return to the tragedy in Thailand, we can see that it offers more than grief. It offers a mirror. We may cry for the monks who died. We may feel the shock of their sudden passing. But after tears, we must ask, what does this teach me about my own life? If my turn came suddenly, would I be ready? What remains unresolved in my heart? Who have I not forgiven? Whom have I hurt and not apologized to? How much time have I wasted in resentment, comparison, distraction, or fear? How many mornings have I been given? And how many have I used wisely? These questions are uncomfortable because they remove our excuses. We cannot say we did not know life was impermanent. We know. We have seen funerals. We have lost people. We have watched bodies grow old. We have seen sickness arrive without invitation. We have read the news. We have stood beside hospital beds. We have felt the phone call that changes everything. The problem is not that we do not know. The problem is that we forget. Human beings have a habit of forgetting. We suffer, we learn, we promise to change, and then, when comfort returns, we go back to sleep. We repeat the same patterns. We return to the same attachments. We rebuild the same prison and call it normal life. This forgetting is one of the deepest forms of suffering. After a painful event, the heart may open for a while. We become kinder for a few days. We call family members. We slow down. We pray. We think about what matters. But then the old momentum returns. The sale at the store becomes important again. The argument becomes important again. The need to be right becomes important again. The phone consumes us again. The small irritation becomes larger than the truth of death. We forget that we were awakened. We forget that we promised to live differently. The antidote is mindfulness, to remember again and again, I have suffered enough from this old way. I do not want to keep going back. I do not want to keep feeding anger. I do not want to keep living as if death were only for other people. I need to practice. I need to free the mind. I need to live in such a way that, whenever the final moment comes, I do not meet it full of regret. This does not require running away from ordinary life. It requires bringing practice into ordinary life. Into the kitchen, into the office, into the car, into conversations with children, into the moment when someone disappoints us, into the moment when the news breaks our heart. For parents and grandparents, this practice also affects how we guide younger generations. Many young people today grow up surrounded by technology, speed, entertainment, and endless information. They may not easily believe in karma, rebirth, or spiritual teachings simply because an elder tells them to. If we lecture them harshly, they may close their ears. If we try to control them, they may resist, but we can show them cause and effect in daily life. If they stay up all night on their phones or games, they feel exhausted in the morning. That is cause and effect. If they speak cruelly to friends, relationships break. That is cause and effect. If they practice honesty, people trust them. That is cause and effect. If they help others, the heart becomes lighter. That is cause and effect. We do not need to force wisdom into young minds. We can live it. We can point gently. We can show them, in real situations, how actions bring results. We can demonstrate peace by being peaceful. We can demonstrate patience by being patient. We can demonstrate faith not as pressure, but as steadiness. Children may not believe every doctrine, but they notice the atmosphere of a life. They notice whether spiritual words make an adult kinder or more controlling. They notice whether prayer softens the heart or hardens judgment. If we want them to understand the path, the most powerful teaching is the way we live when we are tired, challenged, disappointed, or not obeyed. Everything returns, finally, to one mindful breath. The teaching may speak of karma, impermanence, rebirth, suffering, liberation, and nirvana, but the doorway is very near. One breath, one moment of awareness, one pause before anger, one sincere wish for peace, one morning vow, one step taken without hatred. We do not need to wait until we are perfect. We begin where we are. We begin in the middle of confusion. We begin while grieving. We begin while afraid. We begin while still carrying old habits. We begin because there may not be another time. When we remember the monks who were taken so suddenly in Thailand, let us remember them not only with sadness, but with reverence that becomes practice. Let us not allow their passing to become just another tragic story consumed and forgotten. Let it become a bell. Let it ring inside our ordinary days. Let it remind us when we are about to speak harshly. Let it remind us when we are wasting a morning in resentment. Let it remind us when we think possessions are the measure of success. Let it remind us when we postpone forgiveness. Let it remind us when we forget that this breath is not guaranteed. May those who passed away continue according to the goodness they cultivated. May those who loved them be held in compassion. May those who witnessed the event find healing. May all who hear of it turn not toward despair, but toward awakening. May we learn to meet suffering with an open heart and a steady mind. May we care without collapsing. May we grieve without hatred. May we remember without being consumed. May we live in such a way that our own presence becomes a small refuge for others. Each morning, before the world begins asking for our attention, we can return to the simple vow, today is going to be my peaceful day. Not because nothing painful will happen. Not because everyone will be kind. Not because the world has become safe from impermanence. But because we have chosen to practice. We have chosen to guard the mind. We have chosen to meet anger with clarity, grief with wisdom, and uncertainty with a deeper commitment to goodness. And when the final moment comes, as it must come for every one of us, the question will not be how much we owned, how loudly we argued, how often we won, or how carefully we protected our pride. The question will be whether the heart has learned to let go, whether the mind has touched peace, whether we have used this fragile life to reduce suffering, in ourselves and in others, whether we have remembered, before it was too late, that everything begins with one mindful breath. One breath at a time, we can return. One breath at a time, we can choose kindness. One breath at a time, we can stop adding suffering to suffering. One breath at a time, we can honor those who have gone before us by living more awake today. And perhaps this is the deepest way to bow before impermanence, not merely to mourn what has passed, but to awaken while we are still here.